Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your Hammers Headlines. In actual fact, this is your Graham Potter press conference. This is, of course, in association with our good friends over at Knees Up Motherbound, kumb.com. Make sure you do go across there and check out their wonderful content as per usual. But you're here to hear everything about the Graham Potter press conference that has just taken place ahead of our game against Leicester City at the London Stadium on Thursday evening. So without further ado, I'll get cracking on the first question that was asked of Graham Potter, our new head coach, of course, been in charge of the West Ham for a little while now. So he's becoming very aware of the surroundings and how to handle our press ahead of their kind of, the questioning that comes their way, etc., etc. So the first question was on team news, and as you can see here, both players are progressing but won't make the squad on Thursday. Vladimir Sofau certainly has a chance for Newcastle, and Lucas Paquetá will have to keep an eye on him. He expanded on Lucas Paquetá and just said we have to see how he reacts to his injury, and how he keeps reacting to treatment depends on whether or not he will be available. But both of those players, Vladimir Sofau and of course Lucas Paquetá, will be missing for the game against Leicester. But we dealt with that, what was thrown our way from the game against Arsenal. So it's not the end of the world, of course not. We don't like any players to be injured. And on the Arsenal win, he was asked about what impact that had, how did it happen, and what did you think about the Arsenal win? And he said, we understand you have to get results, and I know you have to do that, and it's about how you do that. Your daily work is what you can control and what has the impact. It can take a bit of time, but the performance and result at the weekend gives us confidence. We haven't cracked it yet, but we've got a belief, and we'll keep working. And I tell you what, honestly, I'm not just saying this because he's new to West Ham, but it's so true. He just says it as it is. That's exactly the way I feel. You don't think we've fully cracked the formula of what works under this West Ham under Graham Potter with the tools that he's got to his hands. However, we will absolutely gain a lot of confidence, and we deservedly got a result against Arsenal at the weekend, and we want to keep that momentum moving forward into the Leicester game. It's so vital, and beating someone like Arsenal on their territory is going to do nothing but wonders for this squad. So fingers crossed we can move this and get that into the Leicester game. Of course, we know Leicester City themselves are under a lot of pressure, haven't been performing well, especially under Ruud van Nistelrooy last time out at the King Power Stadium. We did not, we peppered their goal, but we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. I was disappointed by our performance back then, and we want to change that up. And Graham Potter himself was asked about Leicester City, and he said every game in the Premier League is tough, and Leicester have quality and will be looking to turn their fortunes around. We have to have humility and the respect for the opponent, which we have, but we need everything like every other game, and completely concur. And I think that's where we faltered against them the last time out. We peppered their goal and just became naive to certain situations, and bang, they really punished us come the end of the game. And I do feel like if that game had been played over two legs, it might have been a different score, but it just didn't happen, and nothing went our way that day. He's then asked about Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course, the manager who came in to Leicester for that game, the return fixture back earlier in the season. And he said, I understand, because we've all been through things like that. You need results in the short term to get a chance at the medium and long term. All of the jobs are complicated for different reasons. I've got enough to worry about here at West Ham, and I'm sure it's the same for Ruud, because Ruud, of course, is under pressure. The Leicester fans are not happy. They're voicing their opinion at the stadium as well. They'll be pushing for a result, especially away from home against West Ham, where they feel that they can, because I feel like clubs do think they can come to West Ham and get a result. And that's something we definitely need to try and look at and change moving forward. And we'll come on to that in a second. He was asked about the defensive display. Obviously, West Ham walking away with a clean sheet against Arsenal. He said, I was very impressed. There was an understanding and willingness. It's not going to be perfect, but the players covered each other and worked hard, and there was always support there. I think it helped us get the result we did, and I think it absolutely did, because I feel like there was that unity. I feel like there was that, understanding. I think Tadibo coming in alongside Keelman really benefited. Keelman in particular, and the next question himself was asked about Max Keelman and what's he like as a defender, what's he like as a player, is there a leadership there? And he said he is a leader, but he can develop that more. Sometimes it helps when a team is stable, and then leaders can emerge. Everything's competitive, but if the environment's good, he's one of the guys who can do that. He's quite a quiet guy, but he leads as he is, and he is very consistent. So it's very interesting because something we've always picked up on at West Ham is just kind of lack the people who communicate at the back, and we do see the lack of communication at the back, but I can see the frustrations in Keelman, and I think that's the inconsistencies in what and who is playing alongside him. And what we do know is Graham Potter went on to that saying that he is always available. He is always available. It's very rare that he's not available. So there's obviously a interesting point there and brought up about Max Keelman being a potential future leader for West Ham. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Only a few more points to get through for this reaction to the Graham Potter press conference. He was asked about Wan-Bissaka and really not just about his performance against Arsenal, but just in general how he's been. And he said he's been really impressive. The wing-back role probably brings the best out of him. He can do both sides of the game. He's working away and we're delighted to have him. What a signing. The signing of the summer. What a steal. God, if you went into the transfer market now, you'd be selling for massive amounts of profits with regards to this geezer. Wan-Bissaka has stepped into that West Ham shirt like he's always been there his whole life, and I'm excited about what the future brings to him as well. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on the future of Wan-Bissaka and how he progresses in the claret and blue of East London. He was asked about home form and how important it is, and he said every team wants to do well in front of their own supporters. It's not that straightforward, but we want to do better in front of our fans. To get results, you need some consistency around performances, and we haven't been able to do that, but Thursday is an opportunity to do that. We're looking to play well and get the result and build that togetherness, and of course that is vital because we're coming up to a break, which he talks about as his last question before the embargoed section come in. But we need momentum. We need that coming into the Newcastle game. And if you can get yourself a victory, get yourself 6 points out of 6 over the last couple of games, then you are on a bounce, and that's what we need. We need that bounce in order to kind of make some form of commitment to pushing up this league as far as we can and distance ourselves. Yes, we're distance ourselves in terms of points, but we want to push up the numbers up the league and try and challenge for that top 10 if we possibly can. So that would be very, very vital. Of course, as I mentioned to you there, the last question he was asked about was time off, because after the Leicester game we do have a weekend break, and he says we'll make sure everyone's recovering and there'll be some time to build up at the following game. We'll focus on the Leicester game and then look to use our time wisely after that, and that will hopefully allow players like Lucas Paquetá to come back to fitness, Vladimir Soufal, and we'll have a fully fit squad, but also give time for this team to gel. You know, we've got Todibo back, played 60 odd minutes against Arsenal, thought he played really well, and build up all of their fitness levels and give more time for recovery for Somerville, Antonio, which I still can't believe I'm even saying, Füllkrug, and then bang, you've got options, and that's what we absolutely want. And plus it gives more time for Evan Ferguson to settle into the West Ham setup as well, obviously since coming in, since he joined West Ham on loan from Brighton. So I think time is key here. Time is absolutely key here, so it'd be interesting to see the future and how this all progresses moving forward. Anyway, that does bring an end to your Hammers headlines for today, which is the Graham Potter press conference. Let me know your thoughts, put it in the comments, leave your thumbs up. Of course, hit the subscribe button to the channel. Join us as we keep bringing you as much content as we possibly can, all related to our wonderful and beautiful West Ham. Take it easy and come on, you Irons.